What's up, everybody? It's your boy, your channel host, Dr. Goon. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe. We're on the road to 30K, as well as like this video. I'm doing this series regardless. I'm covering the entirety of One Punch Man, regardless of how many likes it gets. But it'd be amazing if we got it to like 200 plus per episode. That'd be incredible. But this is going to be a story review, and I'm going to cover it in volumes. All right. I won't be reading bonus chapters. Those will be saved up for like special single videos if y'all end up requesting them. But get in the comments down below and let me know how you're enjoying the journey as we go through each volume per episode, eventually catching up. And by the time we catch up, the new chapter will have dropped, which will be super dope to see. Anyways, without further ado, I hope you guys are excited for this. Let's get into volume 1 of One Punch Man. Now, this manga starts out with us seeing massive explosions. The town is being attacked by monsters. And we see this motherfucker that looks like a Kmart version of Piccolo. And he is going crazy. He is the one that is responsible for destructions of towns, right? This city, it's getting rocked. And we see a bald character step out. Kind of has aura, hard to tell at first, but he steps out as justice enforcement, right? And he says, yo, control over this situation before the city's destroyed. This monster's gotta go. We see the creature, this Kmart Piccolo, is continuing his adventure of absolute destruction as he tries to fold an innocent little girl who accidentally steps into the crossfire. That is when we see Saitama come in. He says he is Saitama, aka the One Punch Man. A hero who is simply a hero because he doesn't have better shit to do, and that's what currently interests him. That is when we get an introduction for the monster. He says he is Vaccine Man, and he is existing because of humanity's pollution, which, to be honest, basically makes him an eco-terrorist, okay? But obviously with monstrous capability. The Vaccine Man goes on to say he will wipe humanity out, as Saitama, unfortunately for Big Vaccine, one-shots him. The chapter, or the first chapter, ends with Saitama being mad at himself that once again he one-shotted another monster. This is when we proceed to chapter 2. We see a flashback to Saitama before he actually was a hero. He was trying to get a job and fail. He was going back and forth looking for jobs, just couldn't seem to find one that would work out for him. He passes by on his walk away from this, failed adventure, passes a crab monster who ultimately lets him go because, to be honest, Saitama, who has hair in this flashback, doesn't come across as intimidating, doesn't really got shit going on. And the crab's like, look, you suck anyway, just go ahead and keep it moving. No one's worried about you. We see this crab monster is after a kid with a cleft chin. And Saitama realizes he must save this kid from murder, as clearly no child is going to be able to box with a monster like this. We find out that the kid's being targeted because he drew nipples on the monster while the monster slept in the park. And this pissed off the monster, which is kind of valid, although I don't think it warrants murder. Saitama starts brawling with this crab. And even though he starts out this fight, kind of getting his ass beat, he realizes, hey, I'm actually excited to do this. I'm excited for this fight. This is what I want to do moving forward. I want to be a hero. He then manages to kill the monster. And we see in just 3 years of training, he went on to become a hero with overwhelming power, the likes of which only you could dream of. Now, Saitama, having basically maxed out his stats, is looking for a way to find satisfaction in the thrill of battle again, as he keeps one-shotting shit, which is a good problem to have as a hero, but if you're looking for a good fight, it's a terrible thing to have. It's a curse. We move on to chapter 3. Two brothers are looking to be both the smartest and strongest on Earth, and unfortunately for everyone else, they're not too concerned with morals or getting in trouble while they go about doing this. They end up making the younger brother an absolute titan of a monster in search of creating the strongest on Earth. We see the Titan brother as he starts stomping around with his older Brainiac brother in tow. We see him one-shot an entire town as the brothers are now looking to take over Earth as they realize, oh shit, if he one-shot a city or a town with one punch, we can pretty much go fuck with anyone we want. You know, it's up. One city falls, as at this point, it has garnered the attention of Saitama, who finally decides to react. Saitama has no care for the genius brother, so to speak, because he's not going to fight it. It's just a smart-ass bitch, right? So he's like, get the fuck out of here. And he's more interested in the massive titan of a brother who is causing all this havoc. The monster talks crazy when it sees Saitama. It's like, look, you have no drip, you're bald as fuck, you're small as fuck, you're not gonna beat me up. And that's where shit went horribly wrong for him. In trolling and trying to fuck up Saitama, he gets his shit absolutely folded like a towel. He was just no match for Saitama. Saitama, after fucking him up, he tells him, like, yo, cool that you have that journey to be the strongest, but let me be the first to tell you, and the one who can tell you the best. Overwhelming strength is mad boring, as ultimately nothing stands in your way. We move on to chapter 4, as we see Saitama envisions himself fighting the Subterraneans. These are beings, and I'm gonna be honest, on your first read through, when this is going down, you're like, man, what the fuck? These beings are tough, as we see Saitama is bleeding when facing off with them, as they let him know they're going to take Earth. He takes damage in this fight, like real substantial damage you can see, as he feels the exhilaration of a good fight. He's like, oh shit, I'm finally getting a real brawl that I want to do. Let me turn up for this fight. Let me get active and fight the Subterraneans. They are going to give me what I want. And unfortunately for Saitama, he wakes up, this event was not real. He then goes on to one-tap the real Subterranean King, who does pull up on him. As we could possibly in this moment, and I want to hear in the comment section what you think, we could surmise possibly that he used precognition to a degree, given what the dream entailed, but y'all let me know if you disagree with that. We move on to chapter 5. This is Saitama again self-reflecting on the status he's reached. He realizes, simply put, he's too strong to appreciate the good emotion that accompanies a hard-fought battle. He then infamously, when I say infamous, I mean people argue about this shit all the time, he brawls with a mosquito and can't seem to really get the drop on it, as mosquitoes are invading the city. Again, it's kind of weird because he's not feeling the exhilaration of a good battle, but this mosquito did not want to die. We see the emergence of a monster called the Mosquito Queen, as a hero confronts the demonic tier threat. And again, we learn about these tiers later. I'm not going to ruin it now. I want to do this review in real time with you guys so we can enjoy the story for some who may not have seen it. But it's labeled as a demonic tier threat. This hero's shown up and says he will eliminate her as he absolutely blasts apart the many mosquitoes she tries to bury him with. The chapter ends with Saitama still 1v1ing the mosquito, as it just doesn't want to go down. He's like, man, what the fuck? And it's kind of implied he got it, but still, it's funny as shit. We move on to chapter 6. We see Saitama is running down on the mosquito, as Mosquito Queen amps herself to fight Genos. Genos being the hero we were just introduced to that said he will eliminate her. This is when we see the unfortunate beginning run, an early run of Genos being a jobber, although as a character, both aesthetically and story-wise, he is a fun read, in my opinion. I actually like Genos a lot, but he's a bum. Okay, he can't win major fights. We then see Saitama, who, of course, is around Genos, who's battling the Mosquito Queen, because he's trying to battle mosquitoes himself. accidentally tanks an all-out Genos, who failed to bring down the queen. He tried to go all out with his power and erase her. Saitama gets caught in a crossfire, and Genos is like, yo, I don't know how you survived that. That was me going all out. Genos then starts panicking, as Saitama saved him by slapping the fuck out of the queen. Keep in mind, Genos went all out. He was unable to put the queen down, who had absorbed a town's worth of mosquito blood. But Saitama, with a casual slap, that's it for the queen. The queen is cooked. Genos, in witnessing this, is in absolute awe of Saitama and pledges to become his pupil, as he's like, yo, you're raw as fuck. I need to learn the sauce. I'm teaming up with you. I'm becoming your pupil. Chapter 7 begins as Saitama discovers that Genos indeed showed up at his crib and is super serious about being his pupil. Saitama starts going back and forth as Saitama doesn't really want a pupil, right? Like, he just actually didn't want to train Genos. And he gets pressed on why he's bald. Genos is becoming annoying to him as he says, yo, I don't want to train you. I don't want you to be my pupil, as Genos gets into his backstory. Well, in getting into this backstory, he's being really fucking detailed, right? He's dropping Bible verses on Saitama. Saitama tells him in hilarious fashion, shut the fuck up and shorten the intro, or it's gonna be a real problem. Like, real beef will ensue. This is probably the maddest we've seen him so far in the manga. The mad scientist, as we pan over, who made Mosquito Queen, cannot fathom how Saitama one-punched it. The plan is simple for him in his House of Evolution. The plan is to study this one-punch freak. Saitama, as we pan back over to him and Genos, realizes that Genos does indeed, even though he's annoying, he has potential, and agrees to train him. That's when we see they get invaded and pulled up on by a bug guard, whom Saitama one-taps, like just completely fucks him up, and demands he pays for the ceiling that he crashed through. Okay, Saitama don't play about the money, okay? He needs those bands, and he needs them expeditiously. That's when we see Genos starts a perimeter check. He's like, oh shit, they're jumping me and the master. Goes around looking for the ops, right? He sees Saitama demanding his reparations from the people he fucked up. And that is when Saitama is pulled into the ground until only his head is showing. We then see Genos face off with an elite cyborg that's like, yo, who the fuck are you? Chapter 8 begins as the cyborg says he is not there for Genos. And Genos stops his blitz as he goes, look, real shit, you think you're sweet, it's cool, maybe you are. But I need to stop you and ask some questions. That is when Genos realizes, in confronting the cyborg and going back and forth, that he and his master, Saitama, are facing an elite retrieval unit from the House of Evolution, which apparently is where extreme science experiments are conducted. Saitama, who at this point had been in the ground this whole time, easily escapes the burial and informs the Beast King, who had shown up to confront him, that he has a chance to walk away. Saitama's like, yo, you can get out of here, I'll let you dip, and I won't beat the shit out of you. But if you stay here, you're gonna take that ass whooping. That's when we see Beast King go all out, just like trying to unleash massive attacks, right? And Saitama counters Beast King casually with something he calls consecutive normal punches, as witnesses can't believe what's going down. Like, Beast King is getting fraud checked in real time. That's when we see Saitama to continue to go on and troll the unit that was sent to retrieve him, as he scares the shit out of them, even popping up underground while they're digging away to Earth. Saitama one-tapped the second strongest in the House of Evolution, who was obviously the Beast King. Genos is interrogating Armored Gorilla, who's like, yo, you might get the drop on me, but Cyborg, you're not going to beat the second strongest, which is the Beast King. But of course, that guy got one shot by Saitama. It's not looking good for Armored Gorilla. Armored Gorilla, realizing his own embodied, says, fuck that, and starts snitching on his people. immediately. Yeah, they're like, yo, you're just gonna snitch? He's like, dude, I was trying to act tough. I was trying to seem cool, but that bald dude you're with, he's a little too real. Let me fucking snitch on my people and survive this encounter. And that is the end of Volume 1, leading into the confrontation at the House of Evolution. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you've never read One Punch Man and you're starting this journey with me, I think that's dope. Let me know in the comments if that applies to you. Anyways, it's been your boy. I paused it there, so it might have sounded awkward. It's Dr. Goon. I will see y'all later on part 2 of One Punch Man story review. Peace.